Hello. This week's article is titled Ruth. I love books. Reading them can transport me to another time or another country or both. Writing them is a thrill. The book I have just finished reading was written in 1762. My edition was a reprint some 139 years later in 1901. I have 3 points to share with you about this book, The Vicar of Wakefield by Oliver Goldsmith. First, it is a novel set in England and has a great lesson about faith and the goodness of God. The language of the mid-18th century was unlike that of today. Here's an example. The possessor of accumulated wealth, when furnished with the necessaries and pleasures of life, can employ the superfluity of fortune only in purchasing power. I must say I turned to my dictionary more on this one book than any 10 others. Second, an apparently young lady named Ruth, who owned this particular copy, was using the first few pages to practice the writing of her name in script. She wrote, Miss Ruth Parrott, Paris, Texas, May 17, 1915. As well as some initials, BPB. I have no idea why. And one passage on page 13, probably from a song, Old Broadway, tell all the boys to feed the chickens. The old cow died yesterday. I don't give a darn. I go home and sell the farm and come back to Old Broadway, RP, her initials. The third wonder to me was a mystery. The story follows many disasters for the vicar's family. The worst of them happened to his eldest daughter, Olivia. She ran off with a man she felt loved her, and they were married. Later, she learned that he had 7 other wives with whom he had eloped in the same way. Then he hired each of the wives out as prostitutes. Somehow, she was able to escape his clutches and return home wrapped in shame. During a picnic, while her family was trying to cheer her up, she was requested to sing a song in her pleasant voice. Its final 4 lines were, the only art her guilt to cover, to hide her shame from every eye, to give repentance to her lover, and wring his bosom is to die. That passage struck me like a blow to the heart. Here's the mystery. The song or poem was on page 164. The 2 facing pages, 164 and 165, had struck someone else. They were covered in dust and cobwebs. The book had been left open for more than a year by my estimate. I wondered, had our Ruth Parrott come to this passage and was so crushed by what she read? Did she take her own life in sorrow? 100 pages later, again, I saw Ruth's handwritten note. Les Miserables, the hero, Jean Valjean by Victor Hugo. I can't tell you how relieved I was to know that Ruth was okay and still with us at that time. The book told a story, but Ruth's story was written into the same pages by her hand. How is our story impacting those who watch us? Have our actions changed how their story finishes? A door held open, a friendly wave of a hand, or a smile might change another person's life and possibly the history of the world. We may never know. I hope you enjoyed this week's article and can join us again next week for more of the same. Take care.